Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, quick message to any new subscribers that I have. I just want to say, if you happen to be white, you're automatically racist, and if you're black, you are automatically a coon. So on Tuesday night, a 43-year-old black male named Keith Scott was killed by a black officer named Bentley Vinson in a parking lot in Charlotte, North Carolina. Scott's family and other witnesses were just saying that Keith Scott was just reading a book, just waiting to get his daughter from school or something like that, and then the cops, went like, hey, what up, and then they just blasted him. That's basically what they're saying, that he didn't do anything, and he's also mentally disabled, and that's what they're saying. Now, the cops are saying Keith Scott actually had a gun, and that he wasn't complying with what they were saying. They were telling him to drop the gun, and after that, they opened fire and shot him 4 times, and then he was killed. Now, automatically, I know just having a gun in North Carolina isn't just a complete death sentence, because they said it's an open carry state. But the thing is, the cops are saying that he was disobeying orders. They were telling him to drop the gun, and then it led to this situation. And so now we're left with the he said, she said situation, where some witnesses are saying that he just had a book and no gun, and then the investigators and the cops saying that he had a gun. So it leaves us with the media jumping the gun, no pun intended, already saying that it's all about he got shot and he just had a book and everything like that, and not even waiting for any evidence to come out. And it's very unfortunate, because the mayor even said of Charlotte was saying, like, hey, everybody, chill the fuck out, like, let's just wait for the facts to come out. She's basically talking to the public, because she already knows that of just a protest, and then which leads to a riot, is going to ensue, and that's exactly what happened. So of course people ignore the little facts that are already available, like say a black police officer killing another black man, because a lot of these rioters and protesters, they're not interested in the facts. They're just interested in being angry and just fucking shit up, and that's exactly what they did. It turned into another narrative that just white people are evil and they're the devil, like say Keith Scott's brother was saying some stuff like that.
Guys, is there anything we should know?
No.
You just know that all white people are fucking devils.
And make sure you air that one.
Air that shit.
Now. Don't take that
all
one.
white cops are fucking devils and white people.
His daughter was just talking a whole bunch of shit while doing a Facebook live video stream or whatever.
They shot my daddy. I'm gonna say this one more motherfucking time. My daddy was over there reading a motherfucking book in the car. My daddy's disabled, he can't do shit. They jump out the car and try to break the motherfucking window. My daddy like, what's going on? He put his hands up. These motherfuckers yell, he got a gun. He got it. What motherfucking gun my daddy got, bitch? I'll show you one.
And then you're just left with some textbook rioting, destroying businesses and looting and all this garbage. And you have the mainstream media just telling you that they're just peacefully protesting. And I want to take this opportunity to show you a little clip from Paul Joseph Watson's video, because I think it captures what's been happening perfectly.
Physically attacking reporters is not a legitimate form of protest. Shooting each other is not a legitimate form of protest. Stealing and looting cash registers from local businesses is not a legitimate form of protest. Trying to set journalists on fire is not a legitimate form of protest. Throwing rocks off bridges at passing vehicles full of families is not a legitimate form of protest. Beating up innocent people in underground parking lots because they're white is not a legitimate form of protest. Smashing up apartment windows where black people live to protest in favour of Black Lives Matter is not a legitimate form of protest. Smashing up buses that poor black people rely on to get to their jobs is not a legitimate form of protest. Looting the Charlotte Hornets team store so you can steal basketball merchandise is not a legitimate form of protest. Stealing sneakers is not a legitimate form of protest. Attempting to hijack cars and terrify their innocent occupants is not a legitimate form of protest.
Now, before I say anything else about the riots, I want to go back and focus on the data and the evidence that's available, because I want to show people what they're rioting about. There's a lot of people that just think they know exactly what's happening, but I already briefly talked about some stuff, but I really want to just go in detail about this. So witnesses say that they just saw a book, and then the family members of Keith Scott are saying that he wouldn't hurt a fly and stuff like that, and he just had his book as well, and he didn't have a gun and everything like that. But it's just, there's evidence that says to the contrary.
He doesn't have a gun. He has a TBI. He's not going to do anything to you guys. He just took his medicine. Keith, don't let them break the windows. Come on out the car. Keith, don't do it. Keith, get out the car. Keith, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Keith. Yes, we're over here at 9453 Lexington Court. These are the police officers that shot my husband, and he better live. He better live, because he didn't do nothing to them. He good. Ain't nobody touch nobody, so they all good. I know he better live. I know he better live. How about that? I'm not coming to you guys, but he better live. He better live. Y'all.
But of course, you're having people saying that it was planted, this was planted. Even Keith Scott's daughter was saying that, oh, they're gonna plant the evidence, But the thing is, we all know that, there's been some dirty cops all throughout history, and they've done some really messed up stuff, and they planted evidence and stuff like that. But when it comes to a situation like this, like, it just doesn't make any sense to do something like that. I mean, planting evidence or trying to plant a gun, what does that do? That's not even going to remedy the situation whatsoever. I mean, you already had the violence, the rioting, all this stuff like that. It doesn't do anything. At this point, it doesn't really matter, especially, it just doesn't matter. Another thing is that it's very possible for Keith Scott to have gotten in some type of messed up situation because he actually has a very lengthy arrest record. All I'm trying to say is that, yeah, it's very possible for him to got in a situation where he got himself killed because, yes, he's a felon. He's done a lot of messed up things, so that's just what happens, So with what we know so far, do you people think that these riots are justified in any way, shape, or form? Me personally, I don't at all. And here's why. Number one, I've never really been a fan of violent protesting. Now, I know a lot of people will point to things back in the day, like say the Founding Fathers or something like that. I even saw something on Facebook that was floating around saying that, oh, it was cool for white people to violently protest back in the day and destroy property and shit, but now it's bad. And I'm like, if you want to talk about something like the Founding Fathers, where say like the picture was talking about the Tea Party, I'm like, that was a focused offense against the government, the British government. The thing is, with these riots and stuff, nothing's focused. I mean, I even said that I would at least understand if they try to focus their damage, they try to focus the rioting and the destruction on like property that belonged to law enforcement or something like that. I wouldn't condone it, but I would understand. But no, they're just randomly looting stuff and then they're just beating up fucking white people and stuff like that. And the thing is, I'm like, it was another black cop. I'm like, so it's not, they're not doing some type of protest. This is just random acts of violence. Like, protests usually have some type of agenda. You have some type of purpose, and we can always point to Martin Luther King Jr. and then how he directed his focus and how a lot of people back in the day directed their focus doing sit-ins and stuff like that in places where there was a purpose behind what they were doing. You're not helping whatsoever, so I can't call this a protest. It's just rioting and it's horseshit. So me, yes, I think it's unjustified. Now I will say I think it sucks that he got killed, and I'm not gonna try to downplay that. I think there is a problem with police brutality. I'm not gonna be the one that's saying that like, oh, the shootings are 100% justified. I'm the one that says that like, well, what's wrong with your taser, bro? Like, what's wrong with your fucking taser? Like, I think that maybe sometimes there are some officers that jump the gun and automatically shoot the fuck out of somebody. Now, I know it's different when there's guns involved and stuff, because what the hell, why would you want to tase somebody that already has a fucking firearm? So I'm not talking about this in particularly, but I know there's been a lot of cases, and I think there is a discussion to be had about police brutality. That I think that there's a lot of police officers that can be trained better, because it doesn't take very long for you to be out in the streets and have a gun and be a police officer. And it's like, dude, you have like no experience really. You can very easily kill somebody because you don't feel like a badass. You don't feel like you're fucking Master Chief or something like that, and you can just whoop everyone's ass. You're kind of like frightened, that somebody could be out there and willing to kill you, and then you're just gonna fucking make sure you kill them first. And I'm like, well, that's a little fucked up. So yeah, we can have that discussion, but like right here, fucking protesting is fine. We all know you can fucking protest and stuff like that. If it's peaceful and you want to go and pump your fist in the air, say Black Lives Matter or whatever, I'm going to disagree with you, sure, but you have every right to do it. But the moment you start fucking destroying people's property, start looting stores, start beating up random fucking innocent people, that's where I have the biggest problem. That's what's happening right now, and this is the trend that's going on. And one thing I want to say that yes, I absolutely think that Black Lives Matter is connected with this shit, because this was not happening consistently before Black Lives Matter was a thing. The last thing I want to say is fuck the mainstream media for adding fuel to the fire, and everybody just stay safe out there. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I just want to give a big shout out to my patrons: Jeffrey, Troy, Zan, Sebastian, Hannah, Paul, Ian, Jason, Ramon, Peter, Sarah, Mood, Blackhammer07, Bex, Naja, Robert, Joseph, Jacob, Misty, James, OB, Brandon, Char Saint, Base Crippled, Arthur, and Brett. Thank you all so much, and if you guys want to be my patron, just check the template or the link in the description. You all have a wonderful day, and Papa bless. So it looks like we have another case of rioters being called